Hello, Miss G here, wanting to talk with you a little bit more about the prefixes you learned this week to help you with your vocabulary words. So basically, now that you know what these prefixes mean, you should be able to apply them to other unfamiliar words using what we call the divide and conquer strategy. So what you do is you get a word, and if it has one of these prefixes at the beginning of it, you divide it, you cut it off where the prefix ends, and then you look at what is left. And if you know what the prefix means and you know what the other part of it means, then when you put it together, you basically know what that word means. So just a quick review. The prefixes we learned for this week were hyper and super, which both mean above or over, and then hypo and sub, which mean under or below or even within. So you can use the divide and conquer strategy to figure out what this word means. We split the prefix from the root word. So our word is hyperactive. Hyper and active, we split it in half here. So hyper means over, and active means doing things or moving. So having split them apart and then mashing them back together again, I can assume that hyperactive means overactive or always moving and doing things. So here's one for you. I want you to write this underneath your notes. Number 1, hyper-competitive. And I want you to use the divide and conquer strategy to figure out what you think this word means. Okay, I'm not going to tell you. We'll talk about it in class on Wednesday. So let's try out divide and conquer for this prefix, super, right? So here's our word superabundant. We split it up here. Super and abundant. So super means over. Abundant means plenty or more than is needed. So we can assume that superabundant means over the amount that is needed. So here's one for you to practice with the prefix super, right? Number 2, super ability. Use the divide and conquer strategy, divide it, and figure out what you think it means. Write its definition right there in your notes, and we'll talk about it on Wednesday. So let's look at this one, hypomobility, using the prefix hypo. So we'll use our divide and conquer strategy to split it up, hypomobility. Hypo means below, mobility is the ability to move. So we can assume that hypomobility means below the ability to move or even below normal movement. So here's one for you to practice. Number 3, hypofunction. If we divide it, think about each part, put it back together again. What do you think it means? Write it down in your notes. The last one, using our prefix sub. Let's use divide and conquer to figure it out. Subzone is our word. So subzone, breaking it up. Sub means under, below, or within. And zone is a region or area, so we can assume that subzone means a region within a region or an area within an area. So the last one I want you to write in your notes, and this is the one I want you to practice with, is number 4, subactive. Subactive. If we divide it, look at each part, conquer it, put it back together again. What do you think it means? Okay, now for this portion here, all you have to have for the notes is numbers 1 through 4, the words and what you think they mean. You don't have to get any of the rest of it, just 1 through 4 and what you think they mean. And again, I look forward to seeing your answers on Wednesday.